Darren Williams. I'm going to give you a presentation on communication. Listening is one of the main points in communication. Just because you can talk really well does not mean you can communicate with others very well. You need to be able to listen to their problems and what's going on with why they can't achieve their goals. That way you can help them achieve their goals. It is essential to be a great listener just as much as a talker for proper communication. In the workplace, you must be able to listen to people's needs and help them meet goals. Listening keeps you aware of what others are thinking. Most people don't always talk about all their feelings and stuff because they normally don't think you are listening. But if you listen, sometimes they call it eavesdropping, but that way you know what they're thinking and what some of their problems are, and maybe you can help them. Always follow up with questions and take notes to show you're listening. Lots of people that I've been around always like to take notes because that way they go back to their desk or their room, and then that way they know what you had talked about. Therefore, the presentation you just went over, they still have in their hands, and they can keep that for as long as they would like to, and that way they can always help them down the road. Asking questions, that makes sure that you are understanding of everything they're talking about. And if you don't ask questions, but you have one in mind, but you're just afraid to ask, then that answer may never come to you, and someone may not be able to help you down the road. Empathy was another main point in communication. In the workplace, you will be working with others, so it is important to be open to others' thoughts. Just because you don't agree with someone does not mean you can't help them come to a consensus on something. You always want to listen to their thoughts because you never know, their thought may be better than yours, even though you don't want to admit it. If you are having trouble understanding, put yourself in their shoes. If they're having trouble with something and you've never experienced it, just think of yourself in their shoes and what you might do to overcome what's going on. And if that's difficult, or if you do end up finding a solution, feel free to tell them about it, because otherwise they may never come to one and end up having a panic attack or something like that. Ask several questions. Once you put yourself in their shoes, ask yourself questions, ask them questions of what they might do to overcome it. You can ask yourself internally different possible solutions or what may make the situation better. The more you understand, the smoother work goes. The better you understand things, the more solutions you have, the better you are to help, the more help you have for others. If you understand it, if they don't understand it, then you might have the solution for them. If you don't understand it, you want to make sure to ask the questions so that way things can go smooth and you don't run into very big problems. Patience. Patience is one thing that people do not realize is great. It helps tremendously in communication. Patience can be frustrating or overwhelming when trying to get your point across. Some people might ask a lot of questions that therefore you lose your patience, you get tired of answering them. Some questions you may answer more than once, but you got to make sure you stay patient. That way they don't freak out and quit asking questions they may never understand, and therefore the communication is messed up and you didn't really accomplish anything. Always practice patience as much as possible with your boss, coworkers, or employees so you hear what they are saying. You always want to know what's going on with your surrounding workers, and having patience, because you may not get along with them, but you got to have patience so that way you can help them accomplish things. Not everyone understands right off the bat, so make sure you stay patient and are able to explain. Some questions they have you may not even be able to answer, but make sure they know that you're willing to help them and you will do your research to answer their questions. Just do whatever you can to help other employees, because you hope in the long run that they will be helping you. You're all in it together, and if no one's patient, then nothing goes smoothly and it ends up one person doing all the work. Positive attitude. Always keep a positive attitude, no matter how tired, angry, or bitter you may be. Don't ever mix outside feelings with work. If something's bothering you at home, while you're driving in the car, if you're going out to eat and someone makes you mad, don't mix that with work. You never want to let anything carry over into your job, because You could end up losing your job. You may make someone else mad. You may not be able to communicate at all. If you're customer service and you're trying to communicate with someone, then you won't be able to answer anything for them because you're angry or bitter and you just don't want to talk to anyone. Therefore, you could lose business. If you're self-employed, you always want to have a positive attitude to make sure people come back to you. If you have problems with work, take care of them with who they involve. That means don't bring another buddy into it and just keep adding more people, more fuel to the fire. Go straight to the person you have the problem with, take care of the problem, fix it. That way it's done and over with. Then you don't have a bunch of other people chirping at your ear, and then your boss gets involved and someone gets in trouble, fined, fired, whatever may happen. You want to keep it between you and the other person. That way it can be solved quick and easy. And just like that says, get problems taken care of quick or else they keep growing. That's saying if you don't take care of it right when it happens, if you just feel like, oh, I don't want to say anything to him today, you want to wait till tomorrow, well then the same thing's going to happen tomorrow. You ain't going to want to say anything to him. Then it's just going to keep growing. More people are going to keep getting involved. And the more people, the worse it gets. Other ways to improve communication. Employee training programs. There's many scheduled programs that you could have people watch or you could take them to. It's going to show them different ways to communicate with people, whether it be via phone, email, person to person. These programs will show you all the different ways of communicating, and they will hopefully better you in your communication skills. A model, that's not like your normal model that you hear on TV. That is, show them a diagram or pictures, or even just get up and show them how you would communicate with others. That would be a model of that, so that way they can see it with their own eyes and how it should be displayed. Promote. There's many people that promote different things, and you can take them on to different promotions. It's kind of sort of like a training program. Just show them all the different promotions and how other people go about their communication. Performance appraisals. That's basically an appraisal showing how well they're doing at it or how well someone else is doing at it, so that way they could maybe compare themselves to them to better themselves, or not necessarily imitating someone, but trying to perform similar to someone because they are successful at what they do or something like that. And team building is one other one. Most organizations people are going to work as a team, even though it may seem like you're dealing with individuals. It's all about the team effort. You want to make sure you can get, if you're having communication skills, get everyone as a team, and maybe they can come up with more solutions as a team or help each other through the hard times. And that way it's a strong team and you don't have everyone broke apart and fighting about their opinions and how much better they are, or egos. You don't have any egos involved when it comes to team building. And this concludes my presentation.